Welcome to the first Introduction to RStudio tutorial. In this tutorial, what I'll do is give you a quick introduction to starting a session using RStudio, the major windows in the RStudio environment, and at the end there will be some practice exercises and some key skills. If you're already more or less familiar with the RStudio environment and just want to make sure that you can do the key skills, then just go to the end of this tutorial and check it out. This is also based on a series of PowerPoint slides that I'll be going through, and so if you want to look at the PowerPoint slides, feel free to download those from Canvas. These are also available. So the first thing we need to do to start a RStudio session is to get into RStudio. And there are a couple of ways to do that using the RStudio server at Georgetown College. The first one is directly log into it by typing the address. Make sure you get the HTTPS for a secure site. Or the other way, probably that most of you are familiar with, is to go to the statistics homepage run by the math department. So if you come over here to the statistics homepage, look at the RStudio server login, click the button, you'll be taken to RStudio. If you haven't logged in recently or haven't logged in at all, you'll be asked for your Georgetown College username and password. Otherwise, you'll pull up an RStudio session like this. Now, once an RStudio session begins, there are a few key things that might be helpful to do. The first is to make sure that if you have any old objects over here, and I have an old object over here that I'm not going to be using, that I get rid of it, and I can do that by clicking on this little broom icon over here, and yes, I'm sure I want to delete that. The second thing is it might be nice to sort of clean up some of the extra text over here you have in your console window, and so the way you can do that is with Control-L to clear away the console. The last thing you probably want to do is open a new window for writing text, and so you can do that over here by going to the little green plus icon, pulling it down, and opening a new R script. All right, at this point we have four major windows in our RStudio environment. So the top left up here is the window where we're going to write new text. So for example, if I want to write a command such as 4 plus 3, I can do that when I click the green Run button. Notice that down here in my second window, the console window, I'll see the command that was entered and then the output, which in this case is 7. You can also enter commands directly into the console window, such as 4 plus 3, and you'll get the same output. However, it's better to enter commands in the text window up here, because that way you can save them, and if you want to go back and edit them later or use them, such as on quizzes, that's a very helpful thing to do. All right, our third window over here is the environment window, and if you create any sort of object in R, and you'll be doing a lot of that, these objects are going to appear in the environment window. So I'll create a very simple object, a vector, so I'll call it a test vector over here, and I'll put a few numbers in it, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, then I'll run my line over here, and it says that I now have test vector with numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4 in it, and you see that it appears now in the environment window. So this is a good place to make sure that you know what objects you've created and what objects are available to use. And finally, the last set of windows down here in the lower right-hand corner are very important in a number of different ways. First of all, the default window will be on the Files tab, and so this shows you all of the files in your home directory. So the home directory is your top directory, but there are also subdirectories within that. So for example, if I want to click on my Bio 314 directory that I created, I get a list of what's inside, and then to move back up, I can simply click on the little dots next to the green arrow, and I can move back up to my top directory. I can also create new subfolders in this directory. So the way that I would do that is simply click on a new folder. I can enter a name. So if I want to create a folder named Bio 314, I can do that. I've already created it, but if I wanted to click OK, I could do that, and then there would be a Bio 314 folder. The second tab over here is the Plots tab, and if you have ever graphed anything in R, we'll eventually do that, they'll appear here. The third tab is a Packages tab, and packages are sort of additional software that you can run along with the main software in R. And so the main software in R is often referred to as the Mosaic package. But if you want to add functionality to this basic Mosaic package, you can add packages. There are a number of packages here that have already been pre-installed for you on the R server. However, if you want a package that hasn't been installed, just click the Install button, enter the name of the package you'd like to install, and you can do that. However, most of the packages you're going to be needing have been installed. For example, one package you might be familiar with is the package TigerStats. So to see if TigerStats is available, enter the word tiger or something like that. I have TigerStats, but to make sure that it's usable, I need to click on the little check box next to TigerStats, and now I have access to that package. Okay. The last tab over here that you will probably use is the Help tab, and the Help tab, of course, is very helpful. This is the place where you can learn about functions that you might want to use if you don't remember that from your lab manual or from your stats class. So for example, if we want to get some help with the mean function, we can type the word mean. All right? And you'll notice that, of course, there's lots of places where you can get help with the mean function. One place you might want to start is with the Mosaic package. So if you come down here to Mosaic, it says Mosaic mean. You click on that. This gives you a basic set of, this describes the function and its arguments. So here's the function, and you can see the various arguments. And in the next lesson, we'll figure out how to use functions and how to use objects. Right. So what I've done now is I've covered how to start a session, an introduction to the windows. We've taken a look at the 4 major windows over here. And so finally, here are a set of practice skills. And so what I'll do is I'll pause for a second, and if you want to, you can try these, and then I'll show you how to do them. So the first skill is to create a new directory. So the way we do that is to come over here, come to our Files tab, New Folder, and we'd enter the folder that we want to create, such as Bio 314. Second thing is we want to open a new R script document window. How are we going to do that? We come over here to our little green plus icon, click it, and create a new R script window where we can enter our scripts. Third key practice skill is third key skill is to be able to write something in your window. So we'll do a couple of things. We'll write a comment in your window, and we'll also write a line of code, and then we'll run it. So to enter a comment, put in a pound sign, and anything that follows the pound sign is simply going to be ignored. So this can be a comment line. Then if we want to execute a line of code, such as 8 times 2, we can do that. And remember, to actually execute this code, we simply put the cursor anywhere on the line and click the Run button, and our code is executed, and the output is displayed down here in the terminal window. Finally, let's try saving this document into your Bio 314 folder, and we'll label it Lab 1 Practice Scripts. So we want to click on our little save icon over here, and then if we already have the folder Bio 314, we can click on that. We can see what's in here. I've already saved something called Lab Practice Script, but if you haven't, you could simply enter the name Lab 1 Practice Script, and it's often good to use the suffix .r for that. All right, and we can save that. Okay, and finally, let's try making sure that we have the necessary packages. So let's make sure that the TigerStats package is installed, and also the package ggplot2, which we'll need in a couple of weeks as we start doing some graphing. So we come over here to the Packages window. To check on Tiger stats, we've already done this, but if we want to check on ggplot, we could type in ggplot. We see that there are a variety of GGs over here, but we want to make sure that we check the button on ggplot. When we do, right, it says that our ggplot is in our library, so we're all set. Finally, make sure that you can do these key skills. If you have any questions, please let me know. Hopefully this has been a helpful introduction to the RStudio environment.